Hey, 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 Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me talk to y'all. Good morning, good morning. When you come in, let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Jackie, how are you, beautiful? Good to see you. Hey, Latoya. Hey, from Nigeria. Is that you, Festus? Y'all, I'm telling you, I need y'all to understand how serious this time is. You know, I need y'all to really get that. There's some things that God's doing now that are like, this is a weighty season. This is a weighty season. And I don't want anybody to miss what's happening because it is so weighty. You guys be sure to share this broadcast, share the broadcast. There is a word from the Lord, and I'm telling you, it's deep. It's deep. Thank you guys for tuning in. There's so much going on right now. There's so much going on right now when I tell you that so many people are on the cusp. So many people are on the cusp of their breakthrough, on the cusp of getting to the other side, on the cusp of destiny. Like this is a cusp season. We're on the cusp. And one of the challenges of being on the cusp is you get so close to giving up. You get so close to quitting. But we cannot afford to quit. Good morning, Lakedra. We can't afford to quit. We can't afford to give up while we're on the cusp. You see, the challenge with being on the cusp and quitting is this. If you quit while you're on the cusp, you never quite reach the promise. If you quit while you're on the cusp, you never quite reach the promise. But you guys, we are so close to the promise that we cannot afford to quit. We can't afford to faint. We can't afford to give up. Now, listen, you guys, I'm telling you that God is moving in some supernatural ways, and it is imperative that we stay focused. The past few weeks have been a lot. And anyone who knows me knows that, listen, when it get to be too much, I be like, listen, this too much. This too much. This a lot. No, I'm not dealing with all that. No. But listen, I'm in a place where I can't opt out. I can't opt out. Like, opting out is not an option. You know how you get to those places where you, like, even if you want to quit, you can't quit. Like, that's where I am right now. And I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. But this is what God began to minister to me this morning. And I'm telling you, I needed him to minister to me because my nerves were bad last night. My nerves were bad. God began to minister to me this morning, my God, about just how close we are. He began to minister to me about just how close we are to the promises, just how close we are to the breakthrough, just how close we are. And then I checked out the Daily Prophetic Word from Doug Addison. And what does he say? He said, today, agreement is key to the breakthrough. Today, agreement is key to the breakthrough. Listen, you've got to agree with God. It's not so much about other people agreeing with you as it is about you agreeing with God. When we agree with God about what's happening in our life, when we agree with God about what he's doing, then we can see that breakthrough come through in a way that blows our mind. I've been dealing with senior parents and decision making as it relates to senior parents and all of the challenges that come with aging. And I'm going to tell you something. I found myself not just thinking about their situation, but thinking about my situation. I began to question myself. I said, self, when you get older, and if it comes down to it, will your children make room for you in their life and their home? You know, we want to control the quality of our life. And as I'm dealing with my senior parents and the challenges that we're facing in their latter life, it brings to mind your own mortality. I turned 55 this year. I'm not saying I'm old. I'm not saying that I'm going to die. But let me tell you how I'm going to live. I'm going to live in such a way that should anything happen, that my kids would want me to live with them. They would want me to be there. Too often, I think we just live life without thinking about our latter years, you know? And I was having a conversation with one of my sons, and we were talking about my parents, and I found myself asking myself some very difficult questions, and he asked me some difficult questions, but it was the answer for me, right? It was the answer for me. It's so interesting how in my early life, my relationship with my dad was not the greatest. My relationship with my dad was not really good. Probably not until I was well in my 30s. And yet it was during that time that I began to realize how much alike we were and some of the sources of our clashes. And today, I can honestly say, like, my dad could come live with me at any time. Like, I would love for my dad to live with me. And I want my kids that as I get older, in the event something should happen and I have to live with them, to be like, oh, yeah, I want mama. I want them to argue over who I'm going to live with, right? Because family is so important. Family is so important. And for many of you, you've been so consumed with the right now that you haven't thought about the down the road. I'm not telling you to get morbid and act like you're going to die. But what I am going to tell you is this: make sure you put things in place so that it is easy for your children. It is smooth for your children, right? That there's provision for your care. Those things are important. If you need somebody to help you, let me know. I can connect you with Stacey Gregory. She can help you. I know some other people who can help you, but you all begin to put those things in place. Now, listen, What does this have to do with this prophetic drive-by? God began to deal with me about being on the cusp. You guys, we are on the cusp. We are so close, and yet there's a song, so close, and yet so far. It seems far to us. It's not far, but it seems far. And the fact that God has allowed us to get to the cusp tells us that, listen, I need to know your tenacity. I need to know your tenacity. Are you willing to go through to get to the other side? Are you willing to go through to see the promise? Are you willing to go through? That's the $1 million. Are you willing? Are you willing to go through what's necessary? Are you willing to grow and expand your capacity in a way that allows you to be able to handle what life is sending your way? Are you able to expand your capacity in order to navigate and maneuver? Because it is going to require that expanded capacity in this next season. See, this next season is about your capacity. So there's a saying, don't pray that God makes it easier. Pray that God makes you stronger, right? Listen, pray that he expands your capacity. One of my sisters reached out to me and I said, sis, I said, pray for my expanded capacity to handle all that's coming my way, to handle all that I'm dealing with. Pray for my expanded capacity. Some of you are praying the wrong prayer. You're praying for God to move things and remove things, but what you need to be praying is for an expanded capacity to handle what God is sending to you. See, if you don't expand your capacity, you're not going to be able to handle what's coming in this next season. See, this next season is going to require an expanded you, an evolved you. Not the you that you were yesterday or last month or last year even, or the year before that, but an expanded you. I said, God, you have to expand my capacity. It is only with his expanded capacity that I'm able to, because listen, my nerves. And anyone who knows me knows that when people start doing too much, Dr. V will check completely out. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. And it's too much unnecessary. Doing too much and too much unnecessary. Like I'd be like, I'm not dealing with that. Nah, I'm not dealing with that. Okay? I'm not. But what do you do when you can't not deal with it? When you can't not check out? When you can't not walk away? When you can't go anywhere? Right? What do you do then? Listen, you better pray for an expanded capacity. So that has been my prayer. God, expand my capacity to be able to handle all the things that are happening all at one time. I'm not talking about, a little of this, a little of that. No, I'm talking about huge major transitions all at the same time. It requires an expanded capacity. Now, I tell people all the time that, in teaching psychology, one of the things that we talk about is how in life, they have this scale which deals with life-changing events and the level of stress associated with them. Listen, I've always known this. I'm always like, when things start to change for me, it's always multiple things all at once. It's not this and then a few months later. No. It'll be a bundle of the major life-changing, stress-creating things all at one time. Let's look at it. I'm teaching 2 classes. I travel for one of the classes an hour each way. I moved out of my place looking for another place so that I can move into that place, dealing with senior parents, major medical information that we just got, major decisions that require life-altering changes, not only dealing with my finances, but dealing with my parents' finances, not just dealing with my bills, but dealing with my parents' bills, and trying to figure out what all of these things are, like what needs to be paid, like all of that, all at the same time. And we are at the end of the month. So I told you guys that this week was a week of signs, miracles, and wonders, right? Signs, miracles, and wonders. And you may say, Dr. V, well, it sounds like you got a lot of just drama going on, right? Where are the signs, miracles, and wonders? Let me tell y'all something. This is what God began to reveal to me. He began to reveal to me signs that he's sending me, right? But not only signs that he's sending me, this is a miracle. Let me tell you the miracle. The miracle is that everything is happening all at the same time. So I can make decisions that allow me to have the capacity, both in my life, my mind, my spirit, my soul, and my home, to handle any changes that might need to take place. Listen, it is a miracle that happened, because normally you would be set and settled. You wouldn't be thinking about that, but I'm already preparing a place for my dad, preparing a place for if he has to come here, preparing that. So in making my move and making my decisions, I'm making those decisions with him in mind. See, previously, I wouldn't have made those decisions with him in mind, because he had his own place, they were set, but now I've got to make these decisions with him on my mind. I've got to think about what's coming next. I've got to think about how we're going to handle things. I've got to think about it, but everything is happening in a window that allows me to do multiple things all at the same time. Now, to some of you, that may not be a miracle, but that to me, that's a miracle, because the way my life is set up, like just dropping, everything I'm doing to have to go and handle things with my dad, that's been challenging. But look at God. How amazing that he would organize things and allow things to transpire in such a way that things are happening simultaneously. Now, you may be in a place where you've got multiple things happening simultaneously, and you're thinking, oh, this is a problem. This is a burden. This is a weight. God, why would you allow this to happen like this? Well, let me tell you, it's because he's preparing you and your capacity for the changes that are coming. Y'all, don't mistake it. It's not an accident. It's not a coincidence or a coinky-dink, as some people like to say. It's none of that. It is literally God preparing you. Now, this is the good news too, right? It's me and the kids, right? I don't have to worry about clearing things with the husband. I don't have to worry about my husband not liking my dad, although everybody loves my dad. I don't have to worry about that. Those things are not considerations. Although if I were still married to my ex, like, he hands down would be like, oh yeah, bring your dad. Like that would be no problem, because he loves my dad. My dad loves him. But listen, my dad said something very interesting. He said, well, I don't want to bother you. I don't want to intrude on you. You might get married again. And I'm like, and if I get married again, Daddy, listen, whoever I marry will have to deal with you. Like, you come with me. Like, being in a place where before someone else comes into my life, those pieces of my life are being set and established, means that it's not something that's dropped in after a relationship begins. Like, literally, it will already be set, right? So I'm looking at God and I'm saying, God, thank you. Thank you for the foresight. Now, listen, last night, let me be clear. I was not saying, God, thank you. Last night. Last night, I was saying, what in the world is going on right now? What in the world is going on? What is this? Right? But I slept. And when I woke up, God just spent some time with me. Now, it wasn't that he didn't want to spend time with me. It's that I've been running so much that I didn't allow myself to stop long enough to really just allow him to minister to me and restore me. What do I mean? I mean that time just of meditation where I just was still, because I get up, so much going on that I found myself just like running. He said, no, pause. So how fitting that on Sunday, I talked about, there's an assignment against you, but help is here, right? And I talked about channeling that superhero in you, the one who is able to deal with whatever comes their way. See, that's the thing about superhero stories, and I think it's one of the reasons that I love superheroes, right? Because it doesn't matter what comes their way. They have to figure out how to deal with it, whether it is things in their personal life or whether it is things with different adversaries that come at them. They have to figure that thing out, and things can change in the middle of a situation. They can go from dealing with one arch enemy to dealing with multiple enemies simultaneously. And they've got to figure out how to do that, but they have the capacity to do it, right? It's already in them. You all, this is why we have to pray that God expands our capacity and gives us the wisdom necessary to deal with the things that come our way. These last few days of the month, when you think about these signs, miracles, and wonders, I don't want you to just think about the big things. I want you to see the miracles in the small things. I want you to pay attention to the small signs. A friend of mine kept seeing feathers, like feathers kept showing up. He was like, what does that mean? So I began to talk to him about what seeing feathers mean, right? See, we've got to understand that God sends so many signs to point us in the direction that it's time for us to look at the sign, pay attention to the signs, honor the signs, recognize the signs, and then begin to understand the signs. For me, it's numbers, right? I'll see the same numbers, repeating numbers all the time, right? And that means that your angels are with you and they're sending you a message. So lately, I've been seeing a series of numbers. I've been seeing 222, 333, 444, 555, like literally all 777, right? Literally all of these repeating numbers, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 12, 22, which doesn't look like, but it is, right? And so now I've got to go back and look at the meaning of these numbers. What are the messages, and begin to pull it all together. But at the end of the day, this is what I know. I know that God is speaking. So you guys, you need to understand that as we're closing out the month of July, as we're in this week of signs, miracles, and wonders, that you gotta pay attention to what God is saying to you. Pay attention to what God is saying to you, and make sure you're praying the right prayer, asking the right questions of the right people, right? See, because we'll get good at asking questions, but we'll ask the wrong people the question. God is really wanting us to ask him questions. God, what is it that you would have me to do, right? Even in moving, see, you can get caught up in trying to find a place, and you got your list and you're going through. Listen, I've got so many addresses and so many places that I'm just like, okay, God, listen, you've got to guide me. And I know I'm trusting you on this. You're going to let me know when it's the right place. You're going to let me know. I'll know, and I expect to know. I expect to have answers. I expect him to respond to me. It is an expectation. I'm expecting signs, miracles, and wonders, and I see them. They show up. You've got to create a space of expectancy so that God can do what he desires to do in your life. He can show you what he needs to show you and know that you'll see it, right? He can send you the messages. He can let you know what's going on, and he can orchestrate it and expand your capacity. So even now, my capacity for dealing with stuff that I just normally would be like, listen, I'm not even getting ready to answer the darn phone. I'm not answering. To a place where I can answer and do and deal with what I need to deal with. It is that expanded capacity. So right now, God, I pray for expanded capacity for everyone who is on the line, everyone who watches these videos, God. I pray that you would expand their capacity to handle what it is that you're sending to them. I pray that you would expand their capacity and their vision and their wisdom and their knowledge and their understanding and their tenacity. I pray that you would expand their capacity so that they'll be prepared for this next season of their life, God. So God, as we go into our next season, we declare expanded capacity. We declare, God, that you are not only moving, but that you are moving exponentially. And what was the other E word, you all? Hold on, let me get it. Exponentially and expeditiously. That you're moving exponentially and expeditiously, which means that you're moving, and the way that you're moving is multiplied, and it is quick, fast, bam. So God, we thank you in advance for your exponential and expeditious move. We thank you for providing solutions. We thank you for sending answers. We thank you for giving us the support that we need, God. We thank you for everything that you're doing and the way that you're doing it, God, because we know that you have a plan. You all listen. The plan that God has for your life is one for your good and not for your harm. It is to give you a hope and a future. And you need to understand that. It is not that he's allowing these things to come your way to burden you or to break you down, but he is allowing things to come your way to expand you and get you to your destiny. It's so funny because as I look at the lines that are created from the sunlight coming through the blinds, it is a reminder that he is a God of light, and that light shines brightly. And not only does it shine brightly, but it surrounds us and it illuminates us. And even as it is illuminating us, it will illuminate our situation. It will illuminate our circumstances. It will illuminate everything concerning us. So you all, this is the time when we really need to get to a place where we operate from a place of divine love, God's love, unconditional love, and where there has been unforgiveness, release, and where there has been anger, release, and where there has been bitterness, release, and where there has been anger, bitterness, where there's been hatred, release. And know that God is lighting up the situation. He's lighting it up for his glory. It's not that the enemy is attacking you. It's that God is expanding you. It's that God is expanding you, and you cannot be expanded if you are not stretched, and you cannot be stretched unless there is more placed inside of you, placed in your situation and your circumstances. This is a season of expansion. You ask for expanded territory. Expanded territory requires you to expand. My God. Expanded territory requires you to expand. Take the time that you need to focus on you, to focus on what God is doing in you, to focus on your situation and your circumstances, and watch him expand you supernaturally. My God. God is moving as only he can. Get ready for an amazing and incredible experience as God takes you to the next side and the next level. You guys, listen. If you want an individual word, put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments, and I'll give you whatever it is that God gives me for you for today, for this season. Put a 1 in the comments for your personal word. Okay. I need you to put your name with it. I see you. I know you're coming in from a group. So make sure you put your name with it if it's not showing. Ali, in this season of expansion, in this season of expansion, in this season of expansion, there's some shifts that you're going to experience. In this season of expansion, there's some shifts that you're going to experience. As you're going through these shifts, know that they are not to hurt you, not to harm you. It may make you very uncomfortable. It may not come the way you want it, but it's coming for you to be expanded. Know that God is doing something in your life that is supernatural. And so you need to expand, open your mind, ask God for wisdom where you need wisdom, but there are changes that are coming, shifts that are coming. Go with the shifts, right? Go with the shifts and know that they are working for your good. Terrence, Pineapple. This is a week of breakthrough for you. There are things that have been held up that are breaking through. This week is your week of breakthrough. And once it breaks through, it's not going to get blocked up like that again. Like, this is a week of breakthrough. Breakthrough is here. It is yours. You just have to continue on. Stay the course. God has got you. Okay? Stay the course. God has got you. And this breakthrough is going to literally, you're going to begin to see the money flow behind the breakthrough. It's like a dam has been there, and the dam is being broken this week. And with that dam, then you're going to see the flood, the seeds that you've sown, the things that you've done, the things that you've invested in. You're going to start seeing the breakthrough of the dam, and it's going to flow in your life. Amen. Praise God. The joggers are here. You're so welcome, Ali. All right. Next device, y'all. Jackie. Listen, I see the same thing. It's like you've been right there on the cusp, and now it's just a matter of pressing through for your breakthrough. It's a matter of pressing through for your breakthrough. Like as you press through, you're going to see the changes come. Listen, we're going to talk this week because there's some things that God is doing in your life that make you uncomfortable, but I'm telling you it's necessary. And so there are shifts that you're going to have to make in order for the promises of God to fully manifest in your life. So you cannot allow yourself to be stuck and weighted down by previous decisions. You've got to go with God. You've got to move with God. If you do not, it's going to delay what God has been trying to do for another 3 years. So this is the season to just press, push to get to the other side so that you can just be set, okay? And watch what God does in your life. All right. Artesia, you're in the same place, that place of breakthrough. So listen, let me say this to you. This breakthrough is going to require what? Expanded capacity. So all of the things that have been coming at you have come to expand what you can hold. This is not the week to talk about what you can't do, what you can't handle, because you can handle whatever comes your way. The key is you need God's wisdom and him to expand your capacity so that you can handle things the way you need to handle them, so that it won't be that it'll be the way you need to handle it. That's what I'm gonna say. So that it'll be the way you need to handle it for the promises of God to manifest in your life. You're too close to your destiny. You're too close to breakthrough to allow yourself to draw back now. You just have to ask for that expanded capacity so God can show you how to press in, how to push in for your breakthrough. I'm telling you, it's here. Marquita, my MJ. There's some major shifts that are happening in your life. There's some things that God has told you to do that you too are uncomfortable with, but do them anyway. You may not see how it's going to work. You may not see how it's going to come together, but you better do what God said, because if not, you're going to miss a window. This is a key. I'm telling y'all, this is a key time in our lives. This is a key time. This is a time where our decisions are going to affect when and how we get to our destiny. I'm telling y'all, don't back out now. Don't back up now. This is the time to press in. Yesterday, one of my students did a speech, and it was building. It was like docks and something else. I can't remember what he said it was called, but there was a pole. They put a big wooden pole in the ground, and first they hit the pole, but then it got to a place where you couldn't hit the pole and make it go down further. What they did was it shook it. It was vibrating, and the more it vibrated, the more it went down. Y'all listen to me. It was a shaking that made the pole go down further in the ground. So listen, this has been a season where it had been hit, but now you're in a season, you're in a place where you're stuck, right? So God is shaking. He's shaking things up because it begins to create wiggle room for greater depth. So that's what's going on right now. Don't stop now. You may not understand all of it. You don't have to understand it for it to work. You don't have to understand it for it to work. You just have to allow God to do what it is that he's doing. Okay, I'm not sure who this is, so I need you to make sure you put your name, and then I'll give you the word that God gives me for you. Listen, y'all, God is doing some incredible and amazing things. His movements are exponential. He's moving exponentially and expeditiously. It may not seem like it to you, but this week you're going to see things move like this. And what it creates is going to be magnified. It's going to be magnified. So get ready for that. Have that expectation, y'all. And I get it. I know what it's like to feel the overwhelm. I know what it's like to feel the weight. I know what it's like to feel that. But baby, I'm telling you, you can't stop now. You can't quit now. You can't give up now. The shaking is happening not to destroy you, not to throw you off your block, not to throw you off your game, but in order for God to move you supernaturally to where you're going. Listen, that's what's happening right now. That is what's happening right now. Now, listen, if this word has blessed you and you feel led to sow a seed, because there's something about seed in the ground that assists with our harvest. You know, when we talk about seed time and harvest, like that's a real thing. That's a real thing. That's right. Can't stop, won't stop. Absolutely. Listen, y'all, we don't have time to back up now. So I'm going to get off here because I was late to class yesterday by an hour. I was so off and discombobulated, but I can't do that. So I've got to get off so I can get ready, so I can get to work on time, because there are things that we've got to do. You all, in the midst of the things that God is calling us to do them with the right spirit, do them with the spirit of expectation, do them with joy. And if you don't have joy, get you some, right? But whatever you do, find a song that ministers to your spirit, find some music that lifts you up, meditate on his word. And I don't mean just think about it. I'm talking about really allow it to penetrate your heart. Sunday, I talked about head knowledge. Head knowledge is when you know the scriptures, when you know those things that inspire you. Heart knowledge is when you allow them to penetrate your very heart and your being. This is a hard time. It is a tight time. It is, absolutely. And I get it, but it's not the time to back up. It's the time to push through. So let this be your push through moment. Let this be the encouragement you need to push through, to do what you need to do to get to the other side, because we've got to get to the other side. We can't afford to miss this moment. We can't afford to miss this time, because we're way too close to the breakthrough. We're way too close to the breakthrough, way too close to getting there. There is hold on, y'all. There is an image, I don't know if you guys seen it, where someone is digging their way. They're digging their way through a tunnel, and they get to the point where they just give up. And what they don't see is their next couple of strikes would have gotten them onto the other side. They were right there at it, but they backed up. They were right there at it, but they quit. They were right there at it, but they said, I can't do it. Y'all, this is not the season for that. This is not the season for that. This is the season for push through. This is the season for breakthrough. This is the season for you to get there. Okay. We are in the 7th month. Listen to me. We are in the 7th month. It is the 7th month of the Gregorian calendar. The 7th month. The 7th. Why is that significant? Why is that significant? It is the 7th month, the 27th day of 2021, right? I need you to understand that God is doing something supernatural, and it is incumbent upon you not to miss it. It's incumbent upon you not to miss it. Watch what God does. Watch what God does. Put a seed in the ground and watch the harvest manifest. I'm going to tell y'all something about sowing seeds, and particularly sowing seeds into me. I literally was just talking to somebody and they were like, Dr. V, literally, I sowed that seed same day. Bam, God moved. I sowed that seed literally the next day. Bam. God is moving. God is moving. And I'm not saying it's because of me. I'm not saying that. I want y'all to be very clear about that. But I'm saying there's something about when God tells me to have people to sow a seed. Yeah, he's up to something. He's trying to get something into your hands. So listen, let your seed produce the harvest that you desire. You all look, I declare and decree that everything your hands touch prospers, and every place your feet tread. Not only have you been given dominion, because that's already yours, but you're walking that dominion out. You're walking it out boldly, boldly. So I'm excited for you. God's word is not going to return to him void, but it will accomplish everything that is sent forth to accomplish. Now, this word, you may say, well, this word, I don't know if this word was for me. Listen, whether it was for you or not, it was for me. I needed this word today. I needed God to minister to me like this today, right? He told me, he said, get up and minister to the people. It's going to get you to your other side. Okay, God, I hear you. All right. So you guys, look, have an absolutely amazing and blessed day. Know that I love you, but God loves you more. And your breakthrough is right here. You are on the cusp of your breakthrough. Don't stop now. You're way too close. Do not stop now. Breakthrough, because it belongs to you. I love you guys. Be absolutely and unequivocally blessed. Have an epic day. Mwah.